Hey y'all, it is Sunday, August the 8th. What's good, family? It is hot in here in the DMV. But look, please drop in the chat what mountain or barrier that you moved while we were away. We're going to get started and like and share this broadcast. Let's get this show started.
Beginning, they counting this out. Just check the history, know that the system can't stop us. The paper they count came from the blood, sweat, and tears of our people. The pivot, scream greatness and shout. Hate our existence, but really, yet truly, we hold all the power, no route. Brace yourselves when we amount, cause we limitless. DNA royal, not menaces, know that we limitless. Brothers and sisters in arms, of the power be limitless. DNA royal, not menaces.
This show represents the opinions of the host and his guests. The content here should not be taken solely as medical advice. This show is for informational purposes only. Please consult your healthcare provider or professional for additional information and follow-up.
My skin and the joy make them 1% matter. That's fact of the matter. Open your eyes when you look at the mirror and see what I see.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another show of Move Mountains and Break Barriers. But look, before we jump into the show, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. For those who would like to watch us on all media platforms, you could do so by following us at Instagram, which is Limitless Outcomes. You can follow us on Facebook, which is Limitless Possibilities. You can look at us on YouTube at Limitless Possibilities, and you can also check us out on our website, which is www.limitlesspossibilitiesforyou.com. Yo, I just need y'all to do two things. Like and share this broadcast. We have an amazing panel tonight that's going to give us some basic information. Basic information, y'all. We just going to just have a conversation. So tell everybody that is around. I know it's 7:02. It's still early, and I promise to get you out at 8 o'clock p.m. Hello, Miss Penny Davis. That's my mother. Hello, my cousin all the way from the West Coast, September Penn. Good afternoon, cuz. I love you so much, and I voted for you. I voted. All right, y'all. But look, we're going to really just get started because I really want to take some time to allow this dynamic guest to just share and pour out with us and pour out with you as well. But look, let us know where you are tuning in from, whether it's the DMV, whether it's the West Coast, the East Coast, wherever you are, just let us know so we can give you your shout out, because I humbly appreciate each and every one of you for taking some time out on a hot Sunday evening to watch a great day we are about to have. Anyone want to chime in where you're from? I just want to see you all. I just want you to know that I truly appreciate each and every one of you for watching with me on this evening. But look, enough of all of that great stuff. Let me give you a great introduction of who I am. Virginia Beach, I see LA. There we go. Thank y'all for chiming in. I am Thomas Davis. I am the owner of Limitless Possibilities and founder of Move Mountains and Break Barriers. I see you, T.E. Edwards. Thank you for watching from Charlotte, North. I was going to say Cackalack, but I just said it in the house. All right. I am the founder of Move Mountains and Break Barriers, located here in the DMV, better known as Washington, D.C. This show is designed only to solely empower you, empower me, empower each other to keep moving forward, to keep calm, and to just be ourselves. Hey, Danville, Virginia, that's my hometown in the house. And I just want to say again, thank you all so much for tuning in with me, supporting me. This is season 2, y'all. Season 2, episode number 3. And I'm humbly appreciative to the great words, to great feedback, to all of the guests who have been on the show. But before I go anywhere, let me just say this. to everyone that is out here doing live shows, podcasts, tweets, Instagram posts, whatever it is that you all are doing to motivate someone and motivate sometimes ourselves, I want to personally say I support you. I shout you out because we are all in this together. There is no competition. So shout out to everyone that are out here doing what we know that we should be doing, which is uplifting and encouraging us to be better than the day before. Wow. Okay. Tonight, y'all, we're going to have a dynamic conversation. Ooh, somebody's watching all the way from Ghana. Yo, I need to stop and clap. Thank you so much for watching us all the way from Ghana. Thank you so much. I am so humbly appreciative. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But look, we're going to have a dynamic discussion tonight about the facts of life. Now, I know a lot of people have been texting me, oh, you're going to talk about the show with Miss Drummond and Tootie. No, we're not going to talk about that facts of life. We're just going to have a basic conversation about living, loving, and letting go. We all have seen the news. We know what is going on within the world with the variant. We know what's happening with the numbers. And sometimes we get so caught up in what the media and what we are hearing everyone else say. And sometimes we forget the importance of the small things that we have in life. Sometimes we have to be grateful that we are here. Just waking up this morning alone is enough, right? Sometimes we got to learn how to just say, hey, I'm not there no more, and be okay with that. And sometimes we got to do something that sometimes many of us, sometimes self-included, hate to do, and that is laugh. Imagine if we walked around with a smile on our face. It would make ourselves feel much better, and most of all, it would make other people feel good as well. But I think I have talked too much, so I want to introduce our panelists for tonight. We have some dynamic people in the house tonight. If you follow me and if you watch this show, I'm always respectful. My mother is watching tonight. She will tell you I always start with the ladies. We have a dynamic lady in the house. She is no stranger to move mountains and break barriers. She's always coming in, dropping some knowledge, and I cannot wait to hear what she's going to say tonight. So we have a young lady by the name of Miss Shaditra Robinson in the house. We have a brother all the way from Florida in the house, Mr. Pernell Bush, and we have a DMV. So if anyone that is in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, even on the West Coast, you guys know this brother as well. He is a great brother, and I cannot wait to meet him in person. Dion Brown, our superhero and our self-care expert. So without further ado, I want to bring on to the show these wonderful, dynamic guests.
Limitless, brothers and sisters in Arsenal, the power be.
Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy Sunday, y'all.
Same
Happy
to you.
Sunday to you. Happy Sunday.
What about those Dallas Cowboys?
Say who? We don't talk
Right.
about it.
Yeah,
We don't talk about it around here. Calm down, man. And, we out here. This state of Florida, Tampa Bay, homie, Tampa Bay. Yes.
You meant to say what about the Ravens, right? That's why.
Thank you. Yeah.
See the purple? Right, there you go.
Yeah. I don't have the colors representing, but yeah, you might as well switch the channel. Take me off if you're not going to talk about the Ravens.
This has been a good night already. Well, y'all have a little do. I hope you guys have a great evening.
I thought we was going to talk about living, laughing, and letting go. Y'all got that past stuff.
I'm laughing because mention the Cowboys is funny. That's
I mean, you over with a great joke. How about the Cowboys?
Absolutely.
Hey, producer Jasmine, you can mute their mics now. So everyone is doing okay?
Doing well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I really wanted to just have a great energy, and I knew I could reach out to these great individuals. You all are dope in what you all are doing, and I humbly appreciate you for tuning in with me on a Sunday night before many of us have to return to work on tomorrow. So I won't keep you long. I'm just going to jump right into it. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
All right. So this purpose of tonight is to just talk about the facts of life. Like, what are the facts of life? The facts of life can be different from me, and as well as it could be different for you. But the purpose of this discussion is just to talk about what it means to be who you are, stay consistent in being who you are, and understanding that those life challenges is going to happen, but picking up those simple things of living, loving, and letting go to bring ourselves into completion. Are y'all ready for this discussion?
Yes.
So we talked about peace, right? As you know, every time we look at the news, there's always something. It's always something that makes us get up in arms. Oh, you can't wear the mask. You can wear the mask. Schools open, schools closed, jobs here. I mean, everything seems to be so negative. But why is it important to be at peace with yourself? And as always, I'm going to start with the young lady, Mr. Dietrich. Please tell us, why should we be at peace with ourselves?
We definitely should be at peace with ourselves, because if we're not, then we're in a chaotic state daily. Who wants to be in a chaotic state? Some people may not realize that they're in, but peace surpasses all understanding. If you don't have that, then what good, not to say what good are you, because you'll have to realize that something's not working with inside yourself and try to work on that. But definitely peace it's the number one key in my life. I can definitely speak for myself and say
Wow.
that. So peace is very important to me, so that I'm not living in a chaotic state, or even putting how I'm feeling onto someone else.
Wow. Peace is not being in chaos. So for those who don't want to be in chaos, you may want to be careful when you watch news and social media. Thank you for that great response. Let me drop it down to Dion. Dion, come talk to us, brother.
Sure. So I think one of the things you mentioned was about, let me start a little, reverse a little bit. One of the things you mentioned was about the news. And unfortunately, like with the changing context of things that's coming on the news, too much, I tell my clients and other forums I've spoken, too much intake of media, whether that's the visual news media or social media, can actually rob you of your peace, because there's so much that's changing, and it's so much that's causing an increase in individuals' anxiety. So our own internal peace is so vitally important, so that we can be stable as an individual, because we're not stable as an individual and we don't have any peace within ourselves. That's going to manifest in every area of our lives. In every single relationship, we're going to have a massive load of interpersonal problems and issues.
Y'all on fire tonight. All right, Pernell, come talk to us, brother.
I guess when we started talking about peace, man, the biggest thing I always tell people is, as Socrates say, know thyself, right? So we know the things that put us in disruption, that put us in, as Ms. Robinson said, a chaotic state. So having that self-awareness to choose, I think that's one of the greatest things that we all have, is our free will to choose to what we allow in our life that may or may not disrupt our peace. My peace is the most important thing that I have, because without my peace, I can't think to the best of my ability. I can't perform to the best of my ability. So oftentimes, I always go back to my clients, like, we have to know thyself. And understand how we're going to prevent ourselves from being in a chaotic state, as Ms. Robinson stated earlier.
I like that because we talked about the chaos. We talked about about having a balance, and then we talked about just making sure that we are staying in tune with ourselves. Yes. But can being happy look the same for everyone?
No, not at all. Being happy doesn't look the same for everyone. What makes me happy may not make Dion happy. It may not make Thomas happy. It may not make, I'm going to keep calling you Ms. Robin, because I'm going to mess your first name up, but I do apologize. Ms. Robinson happy. But no, so we all find happiness a different way. And it's okay to understand our journey. Everybody's journey is different, and how we find happiness, how we find peace within ourselves. and the
Right.
different things that bring us peace is okay. So it doesn't happen the same for everyone,
Right.
right?
Right.
And that's that metacognition and that meta mood, or better in, I guess, in self terminology, is that self awareness. What
Right.
makes you happy? And sometimes it's very hard, especially for the clients I work with. Sometimes it's very hard for them to even answer that question. Right? Have
Yes.
you asked your client what makes you happy? They be like, they just look stunned, like, So it's that self exploration to
Right.
really rediscover what makes you happy, and also what may have made you happy in the past may not be what works for you presently. So it's okay to continue to find different things that's going to contribute to your happiness and peace.
I love that. Dion, talk to us, brother.
Sure. He just said just about everything I was going to say, but it's just it was just perfectly stated. I think happiness is one of those constructs. Remember in graduate school, kind of looking at it, it varies from person to person. Happiness oftentimes is attached to values. What I value, what I hold important in my life. I have clients where there is one area of their life that they value the most, and they have literally almost 1,000 other things just going great for them. But
Mm-hmm.
but because they hold such strong value in that one area, they can be guilty of stepping into having a cognitive distortion of overgeneralization and
Right.
looking at their whole life, saying my whole life is terrible, it's bad, it's horrible, and I'm not happy because of this one area that I value. So yes, what makes people happy changes over time as well. What might have made a person happy in a certain decade could change in an entire another time period.
Wow. Dion, you just said something, and you just shifted my question. You said something that's very key, and you mentioned the word values, right?
Yeah.
And understanding who you are. But I also want to add this fact in right quick, y'all. Why is it important to be accepting of who you are and where you are at this particular time? Because I can tell you now, a lot of things, and a lot of times we find ourselves hustling and bustling, trying to get the acceptance. But when we get the acceptance from others, we sometimes don't understand it, and sometimes we don't respect it because we haven't accepted who I am right now. So for me right now, I'm just a country boy that's 41 years old that's out here trying to save the world, right? But if I try to compare myself to someone else that is at a different level until I grasp the fact that this is who I am, I'm gonna miss the mark. And I think, and I empower my clients all the time. The first thing that we have to do in life is just be accepting of who you are and where you are, and be okay with that.
Can I,
So
can I chime
go.
in? Please,
Yes, you
first.
can. Yes, you can.
So
Go ahead.
that's such an important point, and you're right. You have to come to a level. It kind of taps into one's own self esteem, self confidence, self awareness, self worth, of understanding who I am in the here and now. And
Mm-hmm.
it's perfectly fine and healthy to set goals, right, in various areas of life. Maybe a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year-old goal. But as you move, as you transition, as you walk along the pathway, as you take that journey, just being able to celebrate and be content and happy with each part and each step of the journey as you are moving toward a certain goal. And a lot of people struggle with achieving the ability to be happy for where they are while they have vision for where
Mm.
they're going, but being able to be happy for where I am and the steps that are necessary to take me where I see myself going.
And can I chime in? Because that's very key right there, having vision. Because if you don't have vision, then where are you going? And Thomas, we talked about this a couple of shows ago, when it comes to setting your goals, putting them in place, how you're going to achieve them, but achieving them for yourself, not for everyone else. So definitely leading back to what you said, happiness is it, you can't base it upon somebody else. You have to base it upon you and the things that you have in life. But definitely, if you have no vision, then how can you, it's just like driving a car. If you don't have the vision to see, how can you drive that car? I always have these metaphors about cars. I don't know why, but that is definitely the one. If you can't see, then how are you going to have the direction to get where you're going?
And you know, Thomas, man, you said something that caught me, man. You know, earlier you said I'm a country boy. You know, me being someone, I can tell you like this, I had to really learn to accept who I was, especially by the way that I speak and the way that I, you know, quote unquote, people say you don't enunciate. And I used to walk into certain rooms, right? And I used to feel uncomfortable. But it wasn't until I accepted, like, you know what? It's because of where I'm from, my lived experiences that make me the unique individual that I am. And that gives me the capabilities to be a different vessel of a communicator than those who may communicate differently than me, right? So once I accepted that fully, that allowed for me to go on this journey and be at peace with my journey. And when I walk into these rooms that I once felt that maybe I shouldn't be in, I'm like, I deserve to be in every room that I step foot in. And I'm in rooms that might not having stepped foot in yet. That's my name is already there. So I had to learn to be accepting of that so I can go to where God and my higher power has directed my life to go. So it does take some stuff that acceptance.
Y'all, listen, I'm over here jumping around and moving. There's a comment that John Hunter Guest posted, and I want to bring this to the screen. Accept who you are today. And it goes to what you just said, Pernell. Accept who you are today. If you want to add, subtract, or be different, find out what you need to do to become that. And I want to add on to what you were saying, sir. I felt the same exact way. Part of this show, y'all, is designed for therapists like myself to be transparent. Because sometimes when people come into our office, they see all these accolades, they see all these certificates. But at the end of the day, we're human too, if we're honest, right? We have low moments, just like they have low moments. We have moments to where we're like, what am I going to say today when this person log into the Zoom? And I was the same way, Pernell. I'm from the country. I have a stutter. I felt like I did not have a voice because I did not want to be ridiculed by people that I thought mattered.
Right.
But I had to do what Dion said. I had to value myself. I had to be self-aware. I had to understand what you said, Pernell. At the end of the day, I have a seat at the table. And years later, look at us now. Look at all of us now. We are all using our own platforms to let people know that it's time, as Marty would say, to stop suffering in silence. It's time for us to use our voice. If it takes me 25 minutes to say hello, guess what? Hello. Hey, hello. But the point is that I want someone that is listening tonight is don't allow your situations and that barrier that you can't control to keep you stuck. That's another fact of life. Let's stop getting stuck in life. Let's learn how to move forward. Okay. Danny Ross is on tonight. Danny Ross is a great friend. I have met so many people, y'all, virtually. And what I would tell you that is actually watching this evening, make social media work to the benefit of you. Y'all that are sensitive is, let me say this. Stop using social media for sneaky leaks, but start using social media to make connections. Because everyone that is on this screen, minus Shaditra, I have met virtually. And I am honored to be able to build the bonds. And that's what life is about, is valuing the benefits of social media. All right, okay. I'm off topic. All right. Shaditra, I've known you for, I ain't gonna say how long, many years. And one of the things that I respect about you as a woman is that you have remained true to yourself. No matter who has come and gone in your life, you never allowed your values and your morals to change. And what I want to ask you is, when things have happened that has been of a challenge and you had to let something go, can you walk us through how did you deal with it and some advice that you would give someone that may be struggling with letting something go? Because at times we know when it's time to say goodbye, but we choose not to do it because of that C word, complacency. So talk to us about something that you had to let go that you are willing to share and encourage someone what they should do.
Absolutely. Definitely, as you noted, values. Definitely strong Christian values. So and understanding that people come into your life for reasons, seasons, and lifetimes. And so, with that being said, with my value and my Christian values, knowing that when God is taking me to another level, it doesn't mean that that person isn't good
Mm-hmm.
anymore. It just means that where he's taking me, they can't go. He's making room for, those people that need to come into my life to help me continue to keep growing. And then I can reach back, bring more people up that are ready to go where I'm going. But
Mm-hmm.
at the time for me, I have to let certain people go. And it doesn't mean that they're bad people.
Right.
They just can't go where I'm going. And a couple of times I would struggle with it, but I want to point out there was recently, like Mr. Brown said, sometimes you have to change and it may take a decade. And I know with me, I definitely change. I definitely grow. And I can say a couple of years, maybe about 2 years ago, I was reading the book, Don't Settle for Safe by Sarah Jakes. And when I read that book, it was like a mirror. It made you really, really look at yourself and dig deep. And you have to be willing to do that. And when I did, it really did help me transform into the woman that I am at this present stage. Because like you said, Thomas, we've been knowing each other for a very long time. And, we've seen each other grow as far as, being colleagues, being classmates.
Mm-hmm.
But where I am now, it definitely had that book, I would say, has helped me transition. And I don't take it to heart when I have to move on and do different things because my work, I'm here for a reason. My purpose is that of helping others. And some people, can't go, but I'm
Woo.
okay with it. I've learned how to move on.
I love that. I love that. Talk to us, Mr. Bush. Come talk to us, brother.
I don't know why when that question came up, I'm from Florida, so JT Money came to my head. It just let it go. I can't say the whole verse, but sometimes you got to learn to let certain things go, man. And like I said, in order
Mm-hmm.
to allow different growth to take place in your life, and letting go can be scary. It can be very daunting. It's like, but I'm familiar with this. I'm
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with this. However, what you're familiar with, what you're comfortable with, may not be what you need to go to the next stage of your life. It's okay
Yes.
to go through that growth. Oftentimes, I don't know about you all. When I have clients that walk in my office and they're going through dark times, and the knowledge I normally utilize is before we get our beautiful flowers, before we get the trees and the scenery that we love, they have to come through dirt. They have to come through that dark dirt. And then if you think about flowers, they got to come through manure. So they got to come through that shit,
Mm-hmm.
right, to get to where we're trying to go.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes when we're growing, we have to go through the shit per se
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
become the beautiful vessels that we are in this present day and moment. And
Right.
each stage we're going to go through it again. Because you always say, man, I already went through tough time. It's okay. It
Right.
just means that you're allowing yourself to have the capacity to go even further now, to grow even more now. So
I love that. Dion, talk to us.
Sure. This question kind of hit me in my gut when I saw it and was looking at it in a transparent way because of life and because of some things that are um, presenting themselves before me presently in life. And I'm going to speak about it from two standpoints. I'm going to speak about it external and internal.
Mm-hmm.
External and internal. So sometimes we wrestle, we struggle to let things go. People, maybe situations external to us go. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
because of time and longevity, our connectedness. Let's just say if there's a person, could be a friendship, could be a
Mm-hmm.
romantic relationship. Sometimes it is that things change in life, things shift in life. We talked about things changing over periods of time. That
Right.
the dynamics of certain relationships change. Maybe a relationship that might have been healthy for us in one period in time for our life has now become toxic.
Right.
And when that relationship becomes toxic, we may go through a lot of mental and emotional changes and fluctuations trying to in order to maintain our peace. As we're talking about having peace, that might be a situation when that relationship has changed that we might have to let go. Other times we may have internal things pertaining to us ourselves, character traits, personality variables that we, things that we may go, in oftentimes in a Judeo-Christian standpoint, we're often challenged to lay ourselves at the cross and to crucify the flesh, right, and to grow, and all of these things. So that can be a painful process,
right?
But necessary for us to grow. Didn't mean to preach, but
You look, part of acceptance is being exactly who you are. Y'all got me here jotting down some notes over here. So no. This is what this is about. This is about us being who we are, and I would not expect no less than from anyone. You said something though. All of y'all said something, and y'all know that we totally off script, but it is what it is because it's flowing, and that's what it's all about. Self-awareness is another fact of life that I think that's very key and that is very critical.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm bringing this up tonight is because we are going, as you say, Dion, with the flow and with the spirit. Sometimes, what I'm learning now that everyone is trying to get something from somebody. We done been cooped up in the house a whole year. They finally let us out for a little bit. So everybody is coming at you with every single gimmick, every quick scheme. But we don't sometimes do is be self-aware.
Yeah.
And part of being self-aware is asking yourself this one question, and it's 3 letters. Why? Why is this person coming to me all of a sudden? Why is this person now asking me for something? Why is this person now saying, "Oh, you look nice"? So being self-aware is also very key in understanding our purpose and understanding that basic tenet of being in the facts of life mode. But how can we and how can you encourage Shaditra, someone to be self-aware? And what does self-awareness looks like from your perspective? Then I'm gonna go to Pernell, then with Dion.
Sure. Having self-awareness is what makes me happy. Me, just like you said, someone coming to me, understanding what's their purpose after I talk to them. What is their purpose on coming to me for whatever it may be? I do run into a lot of my girlfriends that say, "I want to be just like you when I grow up." And I'll be like, "Why is that?" And I'm like, "But you never know who's watching you." So I always try to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. And that's why, like we said, value. So once I started realizing that people are watching me and I am that of a role model, it made me start being more self-aware to make sure when I move, I'm moving correctly. Making sure that I'm not out there wilding out as I would
Right.
take it up and say, doing things that are just on my character. And I could say I did have one point in time where I was doing some things, and it was just like after I sat down in my quiet time, I was like, that's not who I am. And, my self-awareness started to become heightened because that's not who I was. And I had to get back to my true values of saying, that's not who I am. This is who I am. And I always have to stay true to myself. So self-awareness is just a daily reminder in my life to be the best that I can be, because you never know who's watching you, but I do know people are watching me. So that's one thing that I can definitely say when it comes to being self-aware. And then just being happy with the things that I've accomplished. Like when I make my post in the morning or I get up, you up early in the morning exercising just like myself, that's my peace. That helps me to get my day started. Even, being transparent at work, there's a lot of things going on at work, but I'm making my business to have my peace before I start logging in, because I don't know what chaotic state might be happening, but I know that I'm already on a solid foundation because I've read my word. I've already been covered. I've already had that fence built around me. So that's me staying self-aware to make sure that I keep my peace intact.
Thank you, Shaditra. Pernell, there was a chat. There was a comment that I want you to tackle from a Florida boy's perception and perspective. Justin Leach says, everyone is always watching you. Being self-aware is like playing chess and not checkers. And before you respond to this comment, I actually tell my clients this. At the end of the day, when you walk outside of your house, you never know who's watching you. Somebody's always looking for you to fail. They looking for you to not make your subject and verb agree. They looking for you to go out on a date with somebody that they think that you should not be doing. But I always encourage them to wear that poker face. Like, never let someone see you sweat. Thomas Lamont Davis, for those who are watching now, have my full government, so don't go Google me. But all of that to say is that's something that I'm working on right now. Is hiding this, because you can read my face to know when I'm upset, when I'm not feeling something, when something don't sound right. I am working on this. So can you respond to this comment? Because I think this comment is so valuable when we need to learn how to move and move around in life. So, so just say whatever,
I
just
got you,
talk to
man.
us.
I appreciate it. Honestly, like you say, everyone is always watching. But ultimately, man, I'm a firm believer when it comes to being self-aware, you have to be authentically you. You
Right.
have to be authentically you.
Right.
And oftentimes I go out and do a training and I talk about intersectionality, but not in the traditional manner, what is actually the definition of it. When I talk about it, I say, of every individual on this earth, we all are made up of different things that we identify with, and each one of those things need to be refilled differently. So, for example, like, man, I tell me I'm Pernell, I'm from the hood, so it's time for me to be refilled, to be happy. I want to go get a VIP section at the Gucci concert, and that makes me happy in that moment. Or as a country boy, I want to go hunting, that makes me happy. It's different things that refill me. But to respond to this, everybody's always watching. We know that more than anything, especially in 2021, right? When we step out, it sounds like you said, I don't cover my feet. When I'm upset, you're gonna see I'm upset. So hopefully that gets, because our facial expressions were created for a reason. It's actually like, we communicate in different ways, not just the way that we speak.
Right.
We communicate through our body language. It was once upon a time that I would just put a smile on, even on bother. But if I'm not in the space where I can't perform because something is bothering me, I know I need to step back.
Right.
And this to me is a part of playing chess. When you play chess is a very strategic game. You have to understand what each piece can do. You have to understand what your opponents are going to be doing to make sure that you're making the calculated steps. And when you're not thinking in your full complexity, and because you're trying to hide a piece of you and not being authentically you can't, you won't be able to think about what my opponent may be doing next, right? So you may make a mishap. So I say that to say that when we are someone that we're in the public face all the time, we always working with people, being authentically you and being self-aware when you are bothered, when you are happy, when something is going on, that is a great place, because then also you're able to teach other people. I never want someone who's feeling uncomfortable to feel like they have to fake the funk with me. They don't fake it with me. If you're uncomfortable right now or something bothers you, let's communicate on that. Because that's how, when we start to fake the funk and we put on this face all the time, because we want to ensure that everyone else feels comfortable, and now we're uncomfortable, and that could be something that'd be more detrimental than helpful.
Okay. I heard the word strategy in what you just said. So have a strategy and have a plan. Dion, talk to us, brother. Talk to us.
Sure. I'm glad you asked Pernell the question about chess and checkers. I am a great checkers player. I would lose to anyone playing chess. Anyone on the planet. So I wouldn't even be able to accurately answer that question. So our self-awareness has to deal with a few things. It has to deal with emotional intelligence, our emotional intelligence, and it has to deal with our communication. I did a Friday, the second half of the day, I did a workplace training with some healthcare workers, and we focused on communication and what that looks like. So when we're talking about emotional intelligence, all of my individual clients are challenged each and every session. They have, if they're coming into the office, on the back of each of the office doors that I use in the DMV, there's a full emotional chart. In the virtual world, I sent it to them. So each session, they are challenged to tap into their own emotional intelligence and share with me 1 to 3 emotions they've been feeling over the last few weeks. And they have a chart to do that. So, and I don't accept space fillers like good, okay, or fine. They have to look within themselves. So self-awareness has to do with me having personal awareness of what I'm feeling and what I'm feeling in the moment, what I'm feeling in the here and now, what I felt about that situation, and and being able to articulate and share with someone else, communicate that in an assertive way. I'm feeling happy, disappointed, frustrated,
Mm-hmm.
guilty, confused, conflicted, joyful, relieved, whatever it is. So few different emotions. So sometimes, it's very important with self-aware for people to do some introspection, look within themselves, figure out what they're feeling, being able to name it and be able to communicate it well.
Whew. So that what you just said is identifying and labeling, like identifying why am I am mad and placing it where it needs to be
Yep.
versus displacing it. Okay.
Yep. And
All
share
right.
and possibly sharing it with somebody else
Right.
if you need to. I tell my male clients all the time. I say all of my male clients who have girlfriends or wives, I say they're gonna love me from now on because they'll never have to beg for your emotions because I'm gonna teach you how to communicate better.
That's a part two for all men show. Men, show your emotions. Woo. Okay. Oh my goodness, y'all got that's another show. But as we talk about the facts of life, one of the things that as I was coming up with this title, sometimes when I sit and I think about what do I think someone needs to hear, and the facts of life is just simple, basic nuggets that we can gravitate to, hold on to. So when we face these mountains and these barriers, and sometimes when we face these successes and wins, that we can keep in mind those small things. Because sometimes we don't like to laugh. We don't even want to tell somebody that we love them. And we sometimes get stuck with letting go. So the question that I wanted to start with you, Miss Shaditra, is what are some things that we could do and practice in our homes, in the gym, in the cars, of just being who you are and letting some of these things go? Like, what is one thing that you would tell someone to do to let it go and mean truly let it go? Like when I say I'm going to stop eating fast food, that means that I'm going to drive by McDonald's and not get that dollar fry when it's on the app for free. How can we let and truly let something go? Let our viewing audience know, please.
It's about writing it down, putting it on paper, and staying focused to it. Just like the example you just gave, if you have a goal to let go of fast food or let go of
Mm-hmm.
sweets, set that goal and give yourself, but also give yourself grace. We also know, there are times that, you do mess up.
Right.
So, but you want to make sure that that habit of 21 days, if you can go 21 days, that now is your lifestyle.
Right.
You've changed, but just to try to give yourself grace about it, write it down, and then say, I'm going to stay focused and I'm not going to let anything deter me. Because trust and
Love it.
believe, there's plenty of things that I would say I'm not going to do again, and I do it. But I've gotten better because I wanted to make sure that I kept up, those things in place for myself. It's like, how can I tell my client to do one thing and then I'm doing something totally different?
Right.
And that really helped me change in a lot of things when it came to relationships.
Right.
I would be secretly suffering in silence and continuously taking mess, but I'm telling my clients, oh no, this is what you need to do. No,
Right.
I need to just start paying attention myself. So it's writing it down, making it and then make it in a habit, that you don't go back to. But if you do happen to slip and fall, give yourself some grace and just pick back up, wipe yourself off and keep going.
Brush it off. So I apologize, Ms. Robinson. I should have said this was a text message that a viewer texted me to ask the panel, how can I let something go that I've been dealing with for a long time? So I should have said that earlier, but thank you. You answered it perfectly. Pernell, tell this person how can they really just let it go and be done with it.
You know, I think I said this on a show that you and I was on before together, Thomas. You know, I'm big on my acronyms as a
Here
United
we
States
go.
Marine. You know, so and I always tell my clients, rats on rats on rats, man. So rats, RAC, recognize, acknowledge, commit. You know, you want to recognize what is this that you want to let go of, and then acknowledge what is it doing to you right now, and then let's commit to a plan. And then you want to say, for me, it's RAC P. The P is the purpose. You know, our purpose is going to keep us steadfast when we commit to something, right? So we recognize that we there's something that eternally that we know we need to let go. It's not healthy for us, and we can acknowledge what it's doing to us socially, emotionally, psychologically, and we commit to a plan and put a purpose attached to it. It's going to continue to lead you, and also put a timeline on it. You know, I don't tell my clients, hey, say I'm gonna commit to this for the next year. Let's take bite size. Let's do 2 weeks. Let's do 30 days. Let's do 3 months. You know, let's do bite size. And
Right.
as Robinson said, in that time, as you're committing to letting this go or committing to get into a place of letting go, and you think you may slip, give yourself grace.
Wow.
Grace is something I think we all sometimes forget. You know, we talk about it a lot. We all understand it, acknowledge, but we don't even know how to give ourselves grace. We give everybody else grace but ourselves. So we have to really be okay with that.
Okay, Dion, I want you to answer the question, but I want you to give us a definition, a good definition of grace. Because I think people that are viewing, and you hit it right on the head, Pernell, we can give everyone else the benefit of the doubt. But the moment we don't do something, we beat ourselves up over it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Talk to us, Dion.
Sure. And I'm going to answer it in the context of answering the question, because while everyone was talking and sharing, I loved all of it. I just wrote down four tips for the question, and one of the tips I'm going to talk about grace. Tip number one: make a decision. Make a decision. Make a decision to let it go. That's first. Make a decision to let it go. Number two: move in that direction, or take steps. Take steps in that direction. Number three: this is where I'm going to talk about grace. Number three: celebrate your successes and your failures. You know, every great person that has done anything worthwhile, has failed at some point. And sometimes when we fail, we attack ourselves and we beat ourselves up, and we're not kind to ourselves. So I share often with my clients, when you fail, every great person has failed at something. When you failed, a few things. Understand you're not a failure. Understand you're not a failure. You just failed at that particular thing you were attempting that time. You know, give yourself grace. Grace means, that you are allowing yourself and giving yourself permission to not get it right 100% of the time. Grace also means that if you fail at that particular time and you fall down, you can get back up and go again and move forward again. Don't stay there. Allow that grace to pick you up from where you are to help you to move forward. And then lastly, number four, make sure you have a good support system. Make sure you have a good support system. So it's number four. Make a decision to make a decision. Take steps in that direction. Celebrate your wins and your failures, and have a good support system.
Listen, I knew I was going to have the right person on. You didn't have to hold back, sir. You could just say what you wanted to say. This is why I had you all on. I'm telling y'all, all of y'all are hitting some knowledge, and Aaron said this knowledge here is fire. Can I just say, I received a text message earlier that said, your guest came in with the guns. Y'all started the show fire. Y'all are keeping us on fire. Yo, this is not Thomas, y'all. This is the guest. So can y'all do some chats and do some claps in the chat? Like, yo, y'all are on fire, and I appreciate you all for that, because I think what all of you all said is very key. Because what I always tell my clients is this: like, we want the iPhones, We want these dope shoes, but we sometimes forget they have to go through what we like to call a quality check. And we don't know that sometimes those quality checks are rejected, right? So that first round of the iPhone may not be the right thing because it may be missing a key or it's not switching or so. But what we don't realize is that we don't see that. All we see is what? The perfect iPhone. Not understanding that there were times that they had to go back to the drawing board and redo their strategy. So all of you all are on point. But look, the last question, and then I'm gonna let you guys give some final thoughts because you guys are powerful, and I want to make sure that everyone has time to give your final thoughts. The last question is that I just want to say to you, first of all, thank you so much. Thank you so much. This hour goes by very quick. What factor life or your own personal factor life did you inherit and why was it so important to you? And I'm going to start with Pernell first.
Well, some basic facts of life that I inherited. I think a fact of life that I was given by just my lived experience and then by all my parents, I guess, everyone that played a role in my development, is that we're going to go through some tough times, but it's how you embrace it, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So it's either you can go through the tough times and the tough times can beat on you, or you can embrace the tough times and you can beat the tough times. That's
Mm-hmm.
something that I was always told by um, my godfather and my father, so that's something I just knew life was always going to throw something at you. It's
Mm-hmm.
just how we embrace it and how we be steadfast. And for me, I tell people, man, I try to be a dope person. So even when I'm going through tough times, I when I say dope, I'm always by acronyms, DOPE. I'm dope, So if I'm going through a tough time, I'm going to be dedicated to fighting that, because all the times we're going through it, we want to kind of waver and kind of fall back. But now I'm dedicated to fighting it or fighting for it to ensure that it's not the end of it. Then also always I'm observant. I'm observing how it's actually making me feel, how it's making me think, how it's impacting me spiritually, emotionally. And then P is I'm purposeful. The reason I'm steadfast in these tough times got to be purposeful. It's a reason that this is happening to me. So I understand the purpose of the tough time and what I'm doing while I'm going through that tough time. And then E, just be earnest. Earnest in a way of just being true and being mental toughness when I think about being earnest about what I'm going through in this tough time. So that's one thing I say about the fact of life. We all gonna go through some tough times. It's how we
Right.
approach it, how we embrace it, and like I say, just be dope about it.
All right. D, talk to us.
Sure. um,
Yeah, all right, man.
I'm good. I'm in a few different places. I'll explain. I'll explain a little bit later. So one of the the important factor of life that I live by, strive by, and haven't heard it, and I talk with a lot of people about a lot. In the psychological literature, we call it locus. We call it locus of control. So understanding that there are things in your life and in your power to control, and then there's things that you can't control. A lot of times we can control the simple things like what we're gonna do during the day, what we're gonna wear, what we're gonna eat. But
Mm-hmm.
even Thomas, when we're talking about the stuff that's happening in the world, right, and on the news, in the global macro system, those are things in large parts we can't control. We
Right.
can't control certain decisions that are made by the state or states. Look at what's happening in New York. The citizens of New York can't control that. And
Right.
that happens here in Maryland or Florida. Well, certain other states.
Right. We're gonna talk about Florida.
Citizens can't determine what's going to happen. So control what you can control. Control what you can control, and don't let
Right.
the things you can't control offset you. Don't let those things offset you too much. Upset you and make you highly anxious. Control what's in your power to control. That'll help decrease your anxiety.
Love it. Shadisha, there's a comment that was in the chat from Teresa Grays, and I'm going to read this comment. And I want you to give some great knowledge because you are powerful in your words, young lady. You are powerful. The comment says, I'm watching and hearing this evening. I'm always trying to let go of things that I feel that can hold me back. Always trying to humble and try to listen to you and others. How can you respond to this young lady to empower her to just let some things go?
Well, the first thing is to, whatever is holding you back, if you feel that it's holding you back, that right there in itself should let you know to let it go. You want to make sure that you have things that are going to propel you in life. So if you have something that's holding you down, that alone should say, you know what, it's not doing me any good. Let me let it go. Of course, there's going to be steps that you need to take to let it go. It may be a person, it may be, something with work that, you have to deal with. But if it's holding you back and you can verbally say it, then there's steps that you should take in order to say, why am I feeling that I need to hold on to this if it's not
Mm-hmm.
any purpose? So that's the first thing, when it comes to something holding you back. And you always want to make sure that you reevaluate and be present for those activities or those facts or those changes in life. So if something is holding you back, you just have to know that it's no longer a purpose for you. Let it go. Of course, it may be hard, but it's something that you have to do in order for you to go forward in life.
Well, while I have you up here, young lady, I appreciate you so much. Can you close us out by giving us a few seconds to say whatever it is that is on your heart to say to our audience?
Well, definitely, thank you so much, Thomas, for always letting me come onto the show and be able to speak to your audience and just to try to give some insight. As you can see here, I formed my business is Insightful Thoughts. Insightful Thoughts is basically, looking within yourself, seeing what makes you happy. So it was great that we're on here. We're talking about what makes you happy, what brings you peace. With me, it's being present, making sure that I'm able to be the best person that I can be. Because as we stated throughout this conversation, people are always watching you. So I
Mm-hmm.
always want to make sure that I'm a good role model for those that I don't even know or that may find in passing. So it's definitely useful, and always one thing that you want to be is be present. Um, throughout anything. Of course, there's going to be life's challenges, but it's the way that you handle it. Don't let it beat you up. And if it does, get back up and be dope. I love that acronym. So if you see me
Right.
start posting dope, I'm definitely using it.
Thank you so much, Shadisha. Pernell, can you just tell us whatever it is that is on your mind?
Uh, you know, um, Especially during as we go through these unprecedented times. I know that's a buzzword that's being utilized over and over again. I think the biggest thing I want everyone to take from this evening really is to give yourself grace and really just truly continue to check in where you are and be okay, be authentically you, however you may be feeling socially, emotionally, or psychologically. So those are my biggest parting words for today. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. Can I just say this real quick about this young man, y'all? We met about a month and a half ago. When
Yeah.
I tell y'all this brother right here, he don't know it yet, but he's going to be added on to a list of mentors. I'm coming to Florida, but I'm going to wait a while. But thank you so much for being on the show.
I appreciate you
Thank
having me.
you. All
Sincerely.
right. My last brother, Dion. Brother, talk to me. Talk to us.
I just want to encourage everyone to hold on to and fight for your peace. Hold on and fight for your peace. We we are living in some challenging times, and things are changing day to day, sometimes week to week, and things that are changing that are again outside of your control can cause a lot of distress and anxiety. So do whatever you have to do to hold on to your peace, to protect your own mental health. If you have to distance yourself some from the news media and from some people and from some conversations, do whatever you have to do to hold on to your peace, because the more peace that you have within yourself, the more peace that's going to come up out of from you in reference to your other relationships in your life. So fight for your peace, protect your own mental health and wellness.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Joe, there is a link in the chat. Give us some feedback on how you like the show. Please let us know. Please let us know how you like the show. But look, we are about to do the quick Thomas bar, and we're going to get out your hair. Yo, what's up? I'm not going to take long. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Typically, I would have a whole lot to say tonight on this Thomas Bar, but I think enough has been said. I want to thank my listening audience for being on the show tonight. Thank you, viewers, for watching. To my dynamic guests, if you are still watching, please show them some love. If you're watching the replay, please show them some love again. I thank you so much for being on the show. As we close out this show, I want to say this to you all. As we continue to go through life, as we said earlier, unprecedented times, as they like to say, remember this: live, laugh, and love. Understand who you are, understand your values, understand your purpose, and lastly, I like acronyms as well. ACT. Accept, be clear, and transition. Accept those things, be clear about it, and let's make a change and transition. But guess what? Come back on August the 29th. You won't believe who's going to be on the show on August 29th. The producer, Miss Jasmine, she is going to join me with Mr. Brashawn Jenkins, and we are going to be talking about, y'all ready? Are y'all ready? I ain't gonna tell y'all. But no, she got it up there. So we're gonna be talking about the side effects of growth. What it means to grow, and when we are growing, how there comes some gifts, and there's sometimes a little bit of baggage that comes with it as well. But until next time, my producer threw me off when she posted it because I wanted it to be a surprise. But she's going to be on the show with me. Join me again on August the 29th, which is a Sunday. And again, thank you so much. And remember that all of your possibilities are limitless, and continue to move mountains and break those barriers. I love you, and stay safe.
The power that lies within thee. Black kings and queens who we will and shall be. Know that we bleed and breathe royalty. Love with the loyalty. Glow got me loving myself. Black skin my cover is hugging myself. Live for the mental and spiritual. But remember we limitless. DNA royal, not menaces. Know that we limitless. Brothers and sisters and aunts, know the power be limitless. DNA royal, not menaces. Know that we limitless. Brothers and sisters and aunts, know the power be